Live, local, late breaking. You're watching KOLT News 13 live at 6.
It's been a week of what feels like non-stop visits to Arizona from the Trump campaign, with Ivanka Trump making an appearance yesterday, Second Lady Karen Pence today, and the Vice President expected tomorrow. Republicans know a lot is at stake this election cycle. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Dan Maries.
And I'm Brooke Wagner. Good to see you this afternoon and this evening. Arizona is considered a battleground state. If Democrats edge out Republicans in the November 2020 election, it'll be the first time Arizona's gone blue in decades. But so far, that is the direction things seem to be heading. The latest Arizona polls show Joe Biden 10 points ahead of President Donald Trump in the 2020 presidential election. If he succeeds, Biden would become the first Democrat to win the state since Bill Clinton in 1996. And Arizona is also home to one of the most hotly contested and closely watched Senate races in the nation. Democrat Mark Kelly is also 10 points ahead of incumbent Senator Martha McSally. KOLD News 13's Bud Foster talked to a pollster who says this election could change Arizona's political landscape.
I think it's a year that anything can happen. I think we're seeing that play out right now in Arizona.
Anything can happen, it seems. Like Arizona could have 2 Democratic United States senators, something which hasn't happened here since 1953.
You would have said 3 years ago to someone, hey, I think Arizona 3 years from now is going to have 2 Democratic U.S. senators. You would have been literally laughed out of the room.
What would have been unthinkable in Arizona a few years ago is a blue wave, but that's well within the realm of possibility in the topsy-turvy 2020.
It is close. It is absolutely still competitive. But again, Arizona, what used to be a gimme for Republicans, is definitely the advantage currently leans to the left.
OH Predictive Insights is the only Arizona-based polling company, so it feels it has a pretty good sense of where Arizona is going. And they say popping the champagne corks right now is likely premature.
In this new era of politics, of social media, everything else, things can change very rapidly, and I could absolutely see a scenario where the debates could land up shifting where the current trends are going.
Shifting or not, there is one thing which likely won't change regardless of who wins the state, red or blue, which is why President Trump spends a lot of time here, why Joe Biden is planning in-person visits as well, and why Arizona has seen more political advertising than any other state in the country for the past 3 weeks.
You see that Arizona is not only shifting, but we're not only in the limelight, but really could be the tipping point state when it comes to who lands up not only becoming president, but who has control of the upper chamber in Washington.
Not just the Senate in Washington, but also the House and Senate in Arizona, which is close now and has been in Republican hands for decades. It may see a shift as well, but much of what happens in November is out of their control.
Again, this balancing act, so how the economy is doing will be a factor, but also how if COVID is ramping up and you see a second wave, that's not going to be good for the people in power, whether it's the president, governor, or Republicans in general.
Mail-in ballots go out in Arizona in 3 weeks. The election is only 48 days away. I'm Bud Foster, KOLD News 13.
As the Trump campaign continues to make its appeal to Arizona voters, Second Lady Karen Pence made a stop at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base today.
Please join me in welcoming the Second Lady of the United States, Mrs. Karen Pence.
She and the Secretary of the Air Force met with military spouses to thank them for their service and get an update on the employment programs available at the base. Mrs. Pence also spoke about her family members, many of whom are actively serving in different branches of the military right now. Her son, a U.S. Marine, is stationed in Arizona. She was emotional as she spoke with today's audience.
Anyone can give up. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. I can't get through this. But if you hold it together when everyone would understand, if you gave up, That's true strength.
Following her visit to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, Mrs. Pence made a stop in Phoenix for a roundtable with Governor Doug Ducey. And after her visit in Tucson, it was off to Phoenix. The second lady attended a roundtable with Governor Doug Ducey and Air Force Secretary Barbara Barrett, where they talked about professional licensing for military spouses. Her visit in Phoenix continues tomorrow. She'll attend another roundtable on preventing suicide in veterans.
In 1 hour, COVID testing will start in downtown Tucson. It's to target the nightlife and student crowd and make sure everyone has access to testing. KOLD News 13's Carly Tinsley is live where they are setting up on 4th Avenue. And Carly, this test is a little different than others.
Yeah, that's right. This is going to be a self-swab test. That means they're going to give you the supplies, and then you're going to go ahead and do the test yourself. So basically what you're going to do is just swab each nostril pretty quickly, and it does not need to go as far back as other testing sites do. And then you are expected to get your results back within 3 to 5 days. So here's what you need to know about tonight and the next couple of days. These tests are completely free. You are encouraged to pre-register online. You can also register here on the spot, and that's kind of what they are anticipating for tonight. This will be going on for the next several days and next week, and then we'll see how the turnout was and how it will continue from there. Now tonight, testing here is on 4th Avenue. We're right across from Mr. Head's in the parking lot here at Lindy's, and then tomorrow it'll be at Dirtbags on Speedway, and then on Sunday at University Boulevard. And this will also be going on at some area churches in the morning, including Green Valley Presbyterian from 8 to 11 a.m. and United Community Health Center at 8 to 12 a.m. Now here tonight, the testing site is going to be open for 7 to 10 p.m. for anyone who wants to come out and get a test. And coming up tonight on KOLD News 13, we will have much more coverage of this free testing. Live on 4th Avenue, Carly Tinsley, KOLD News 13.
Thank you, Carly. Now looking at the latest numbers from labs across Arizona, there were 24,000 new tests reported today. To date, there have been over 1.6 million tests administered throughout the state. More than 211,000 of those have come back positive statewide, and just today, the Arizona Department of Health reported more than 1,700 new cases. That is a lot more than usual that we've seen the last few weeks, but we're told that's because health workers have started including the results of antigen and PCR tests from the past several months. An Oro Valley Elementary School classroom has closed after a school employee tested positive for COVID-19. We're learning 8 students and 4 adults at Copper Creek Elementary School will now be self-quarantining and self-isolating due to possible exposure. Right now, there's no indication that a transmission of the virus happened at the school. That classroom was set to undergo a cleaning.
With an increase in COVID-19 cases around the University of Arizona, the Tucson Police Department is increasing patrols, and they're also ramping up education on the city's mask mandate while offering face coverings to those who might not have one. It's a pilot program that will last a week at first, but could be implemented longer. Officers are deployed around downtown, 4th Avenue, and around the university where COVID-19 cases have been spiking. TPD can issue a $50 citation for not wearing a mask, but they say education is their first priority. A citation is their last option. And in Sierra Vista, people are no longer required to wear face masks in public starting tomorrow. Mayor Rick Mueller has issued a suspension of his emergency declaration since late June. People have been required to wear face coverings when physical distancing just isn't possible. It's important to remember face masks may still be required in certain government facilities or inside businesses. The mayor says the order may be enacted again if the need arises.
Now to the KOLD News 13 crime team. Police are investigating a shooting on the east side that sent 3 people to the hospital. It happened at Pebble Creek Apartments near Golf Links and Kolb. The 3 victims are expected to be okay. Detectives have been out there investigating throughout the day. We're told right now there are no suspects in custody. This is a developing story, and we'll keep you updated on air and online.
With less than 2 weeks remaining in the U.S. Census, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey making a plea to Arizonans. The governor urging all Arizonans who have not responded to do so immediately. The census determines the number of representatives each state gets in Congress and funding at both the federal and state levels. So that means money for schools, health care, and infrastructure.
The census is included in our Constitution. It is instrumental to the proper functioning of our Republican government and has been so for 230 plus years. And its completion is the civic responsibility of every household in the country.
Arizona's response rate is nearing 90%, but that's still among the lowest in the nation. We're the 5th worst state for total responses. The census only happens every 10 years, so if the count is wrong, the effects could last a decade or more. Wagging tails and warming hearts, how dogs are getting back to their jobs, helping humans.
Plus, headed out to help, what volunteers will be doing as they leave Tucson for the trail of a hurricane.
And we did reach a high of 103 degrees this afternoon. Definitely hot. We are on the downward trend right now. Show you that 3-degree guarantee forecast next.
Volunteering is great, but volunteering with an animal is just fantastic.
Therapy dogs are back to walking the halls of Tucson Medical Center this week after COVID-19 halted visits back in March. KOLD News 13's Jasmine Ramirez shows us the joy the dogs are bringing to the hospital and the overall excitement for these furry friends to be back.
The dogs' tails are wagging, and some are even jumping for joy.
It's been so long since we've been back, and when I got her little vest out, she just went ballistic.
One glimpse at the vest, and these dogs knew they would visit the hospital once again.
The minute we put the vest on to come back, when she was all excited, ready to go.
And looked at it and started jumping up and down. Eyes started jumping up and down.
Each dog's presence at the hospital was missed.
And they pet him and give him love, and he gives them love back. I mean, it's a great thing.
A great thing, especially for healthcare workers who have been facing some of the most challenging months of their careers.
We were just happy. Just be able to come back and see the staff, the people that we love, and especially all they've been through and everything that they've done.
It's evident the dogs are boosting morale.
I just put a dog down, so now it's like, okay, I've got dogs again I can pet, and I don't have to worry about taking care of them.
Whether they are a lap dog or weigh nearly 150 pounds, these animals are making a difference, one person at a time.
The good that they do with the patients, and I could give you case after case of things that almost seem like miracles.
In Tucson, Jasmine Ramirez, KOLD News 13.
TMC is taking precautions as they welcome the therapy dogs and volunteers back into the hospital. For now, the animals will only visit with staff. Patient visits are on hold for now due to COVID-19.
Happening now, cleanup continues across parts of Alabama and Florida after Hurricane Sally blew ashore. At least one person is dead. Another's missing in Alabama's Orange Beach. Rescue and recovery continues with many roads and bridges still impassable. And in Florida, hundreds were rescued from high waters with help from 500 National Guard soldiers. In Pensacola, a 3-night curfew is in effect. And danger from Sally continues. The storm is already dumping large amounts of rain in parts of Georgia and the Carolinas, bringing fears of flooding. As officials on the Gulf Coast continue to assess damage and displaced residents try to pick up the pieces, local help is on the way. Dozens of volunteers from the Southern Arizona chapter are helping with disaster relief. We caught up with just a few of them departing today from Tucson International Airport. Michael Allen is on his way to New Orleans, which avoided the brunt of the storm but is still recovering from Hurricane Laura.
When somebody loses a home and their way of living is kind of just torn away and destroyed, so we come in as a recovery service and just to help the clients get back to their norm as soon as possible, and so I do believe that the Red Cross is very vital in that.
Allen tells us he'll be helping with sheltering. He says COVID-19 precautions include face coverings, thorough sanitation, and regular temperature checks. Tens of thousands of people need help now. Visit the website on your screen to learn more about volunteering. To donate, you can call the Red Cross or text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10 to the Relief Fund.
Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Viegas on our weather back here at home. Hey, Lisa.
Hey there, Dan. Of course, good evening to you at home. We reached a high of 103 degrees. So we're not done with the triple digits. This will roll over tomorrow. However, we'll eventually cool down. 97 degrees expected by Monday, ahead of fall. And speaking of fall, it is in our forecast this week, if you can believe it. 97 expected for that high temperature. We'll bottom out at 71 degrees that evening, so really nice, cool mornings, hot afternoons, relatively speaking, but overall, at least we're going to see this downward trend, a couple degrees, getting us back into the 90s. Now remember, our average temperature 95 drops to 94 by the end of the work week here, so we are still above that, yes, but at least we're seeing some improvement. 99 expected, by the way, for that Saturday forecast. Sunday, 98 degrees. Never too soon to talk about the weekend. Lots of sunshine. We're going to remain dry. Something about Saturday, if you are making morning plans, it is going to be a little breezy. You're going to notice those wind speeds eventually subsiding later on in the day and then remaining around 5 to 10 miles per hour into Sunday. So overall, hot, like I said, relatively speaking, but if you're looking for something fun to do, maybe a little bit cooler weather, Apple Annie's Corn Maze officially opens up this Saturday, which is pretty cool. So for your Saturday forecast, when it opens up by 9 o'clock, 70 degrees, by 4 o'clock, 89. Similar conditions into Sunday, by the way, it will remain open, the maze, until October 31st. They're open daily from 9 to 4. So if you want something to do, there you go. Now, as far as our air quality goes, today we were in that moderate category through the afternoon hours. I feel like we've just been on this pattern over and over. But tomorrow, we'll see some significant improvement. We're going to be in this good category throughout the day. So like I promised, we are continuing to improve. Now, this is a lapse video of over the last 48 hours. You can see that smoke all across the U.S. and really high out towards the west. So this is where they're getting the brunt of it, and it has slowly started to pick up towards the north. A low pressure system will hopefully improve the conditions, but for us, we are on the low end, so that's the good news. But high pressure dominating a forecast is why we've seen these triple digits. So that 3-degree guarantee forecast is 101 for that high tomorrow. You will experience the breeze picking up in the afternoon, winds gusting up to around 20 miles per hour. That's going to continue throughout the evening, rolling over into Sunday morning. Been talking about that all week long. First day of fall, 97 degrees, lots of sunshine. We're going to remain dry, and overnight lows will continue to remain on the cool side in the lower 70s. And that is a look at what we can expect. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. The organization in charge of high school sports is changing the guidelines to get the game started this fall. Sports Director Damien Alameda is following that development. Damien, what's changing?
Okay, so it's the metric involving how many people per 100,000 tests positive for COVID-19. In the case of Arizona high school sports, the number has actually been raised, and in the process, it's raising hopes, but in also some cases, alarm. The acronym is actually SMAC. More properly, SMAC is the Arizona Interscholastic Association's Sports Medicine Advisory Council. And the news today, coming from both bodies, was indeed a SMAC, as the AIA announced it had adjusted one specific benchmark. The Advisory Council had originally recommended football contact practices and games, all depended on if an area had no more than 10 per 100,000 people test positive for COVID-19. Today, the council announced, now, for football to formally kick off, an area has to have no more than 75 per 100,000 people test positive. And that's a jump of 7.5 times, which, as one local coach told me, is a number he didn't expect at all. In a release, the AIA claims the modifications are the result of conversations with officials from other states that have similar COVID-19 numbers to Arizona, but that have been playing high school football for at least the last few weeks. Executive Director David Hines said, seeing the positive results in other states was a big help to reach this conclusion. Now keep in mind, high school athletics are still at the mercy of both county and district regulations. And as it stands, though, some local schools just got started with Phase 2 practices this week, meaning coaches are able to coach with 50 kids or less at a time. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for new employment, Golden Ranch Fire District may have an answer. The department is recruiting firefighters, and you have until October 18th to apply. The academy will run about 16 weeks with a projected start date of late January 2021. And due to the pandemic, the fire district is not requiring that a candidate have EMT certification prior to joining. So if you're interested in applying, we have a link on our website, KOLD.com. We have a running list of job opportunities available in southern Arizona. Just look for the story on our homepage. Never been a bigger need for heroes than right now.
True.
Tonight, 71 degrees for that overnight low. Tomorrow, we'll continue with the triple digits, but then back in the 90s.
Happy fall day. First day of fall on Tuesday.
Yes, see you at 10.
AZ Weekend, your guide to food, events, and travel in Southern Arizona. Visit theazweekend.com.
Sponsored by Casino del Sol, the soul of Tucson.
In an instant, you're fighting for your life. The last thing you should worry about is price gouging. But millionaire Mark Kelly helped direct a medical transportation company that sent patients exorbitant surprise bills. While Kelly sat on the board, they even billed a stroke victim for nearly $500,000. And Kelly, he got paid tens of thousands. Mark Kelly got rich. Patients got the bill. Defend Arizona is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Mark Kelly, and I approve this message.
Martha